One of the most important questions, and perhaps the most profound question that any one of us will ever be asked in our lifetime, is who are you? And if you can answer the question of identity, of who I am, you're certainly on the way of being a particularly impressive person in the world today. Stay with me as we consider answering the question, who am I? Right here on CITAM Church Online. My name is Rev.Kwame Rubadiri. The question of identity is always a profound question, and it is the one question that you will and I will probably keep asking for as long as we live. But it is a question that the Bible helps us to answer. It is a question that is at the center of what we fulfill and what we accomplish for the glory of God and for the sake of His kingdom. Jesus helps us to answer this question in a very simple way by giving us a story. It's found in Matthew chapter 7, right towards the end of the chapter, beginning from verse 24. Jesus is telling this story in response to a question that he has been asked by various teachers and indeed some of his disciples, is how can you tell those who are truly followers of your kingdom, followers of your message, followers of your gospel, and those who are not? And Jesus said that not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, in verse 21, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but everyone who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. And he describes them in this way. He says, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who has built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and yet it did not fall because its foundation was on the rock. If you and I agree to the whole notion that we are what we eat, or we are the people that we hang around with, and hang out with, that those two things kind of define in essence who we are, then at the end of the day, what we consume in terms of what we read, what we consume in terms of the philosophies that we build our lives upon, will define who we are and how other people view us in this life. It is the Word of God, the words that has been given to us by God Himself in the Bible. If that Word guides our lives, it will determine how we respond to the things and the issues of life, the changes in life. It will also determine what we become, who we become in this world. I want to challenge you to allow the Word of God, these words that Jesus spoke, to be so rooted in your heart, in your mind, in your thinking, in your whole philosophy of life, that it actually determines the kind of person that you become. You will discover quite quickly that your philosophy of life is determined by the things that you fill your mind, the words that come into your mind, into your heart, and therefore shape your behavior. Let these words of Jesus Christ determine and define who you are. And it is in who you are that you will truly find the answer to the most important question of your life, and the question of your identity. May your identity be fully based on the Word of God. God bless you.